Joby Houghtaling is here from the Pecos Valley Bass Masters, and I guess we helped you out with half a football game on Friday night.
It did help me out. I was able to sneak out of there, and I need to tell Robbie, I think I told him thank you, but I'll tell him again here publicly, thank you for wrapping it up. Normally we do that together, but I had a lot to do. I was trying to get ready for that tournament. Things that I hadn't got done during the week, I wanted to get done, and then also stuff for church, and so I wasn't going to be there. But anyway, yeah, we got done early Friday night.
Yeah.
That game was fast.
That was a fast game.
Hour and something.
Kickoff return for a score, and it was on from there.
Avalanche from there.
That's right. And I don't feel bad. I want Artesia to win. I'm glad Artesia won. Mm-hmm. But we had Santa Teresa has a YouTube channel, and they stream their sports.
Right.
And I said, hey, would you like us to stream the game to your channel, in addition to our channels, of course? And the guy said, yeah, and we set that all up, and that's what they got to watch from Artesia.
Well, they got to see a really good, their team is not, it just didn't go their way, but our team's pretty good. They got to see a really good Bulldog football team.
It is. Roswell went up to number 1 after beating Piedra Vista. This is in the Max Preps. Piedra Vista's number 2. Artesia's now number 3. Goddard's number 4. Goddard took care of business with Belen.
Yeah.
And Roswell, like I said, it wasn't much of a game between Roswell and PV.
Yeah, they put it to them.
It was a good dominating game by Roswell High. So we got a week off, and the next week the playoffs begin with Roswell coming to town. Yeah, that's right. With Roswell
we'll
coming
see
to
them
town.
all. We'll see somebody again in the real playoffs. But you're right. Our district, Mayfield not having quite as good a year as maybe they had hoped. But
they're number 6.
They're going to be good. Who's number 5? Well, that's okay.
I just had that. I'll look it up while you get started. Meanwhile, after the games, you and the Pecos Valley Bassmasters got to go to Brantley Lake.
We went to Brantley. Our first time. I'm sure it's not the first time in our club history, but the first time since I've been fishing that our championship was held at Brantley. And the water levels have been dropping, but it's still way up from where it was before we got all the rain, a few weeks ago. And the fishing was pretty tough bite, but we had some guys find them, and had a good tournament. I was real pleased with it. We had our championship banquet Saturday night at Hermosa Drive Baptist Church, the Next Generation Christian Youth Building, and that was really nice. So thanks to Hermosa Drive, and that's where I go to church, but thank you to our membership for letting us have that there. And then Sunday wrapped up the day. It was a 2-day championship tournament. We had 10 boaters, 8 non-boaters, and so 2 guys fished without a non-boater. But great tournament. We Dynamic Heating and Cooling of Artesia and Carlsbad. Ike Johnson is the owner of that business. He sponsored our 2nd and 3rd place checks. So we want to thank Dynamic and Ike for that. And so we paid 3 places, because normally what we do in our championship, it's been a thing since I've been fishing, maybe since the club has been in existence, but we normally only take the top 10. But this year we started a new thing where we're fishing boaters versus boaters, non-boaters versus non-boaters. So we took the top 10 of each, and then we didn't have as many non-boaters, and enough of them couldn't fish that we ended up seeing if we could fill it in with boaters, but couldn't do that. So we ended up having 10, like I said, and 8. But we paid 100% payout for their entry fees and for big bass, both sides. So $1,000 check to the first place on the boater side, because it was 120 entry fee. 100 goes to the pot, 20 to $10 each day to big bass, and then $800 to top first place for the non-boaters, and then $300 and $200 on both sides for 2nd and 3rd place. So great tournament, great payout. I think everybody had a good time. It was tough fishing. So from that perspective, not the best time. I didn't do well, couldn't get them. But we had some guys do, and I think if Jeffrey's able to pull those up, we can show pictures here.
I think he's ready when you are.
He's ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
And like I said, we did have some good stuff. So day 1, there's the official results of day 1. And you can see there, we'll see it here in just a minute, but Jeremy Fuentes, the biggest bag we had was 3 fish. Mark Willover and Jeremy Fuentes both had 3. Lee Johnson had 2. And you can see there were some zeros, and then there were some 1s. But Jeremy got into double digits with 10.3 pounds. Mark Willover wasn't far behind with 9.7. And then Lee Johnson with 5-7 was in third. That was after day one on the boater side. You can go ahead and change it, Jeff. And this is day one. This was Saturday, so he's on that. And that's Lex Klein. I thought I put the non-boaters down. There. No, that's the boaters. So go ahead and change it. Maybe I didn't get the boaters on there.
We'll look at the pictures, and then we'll go to
we'll look. So that's Lex Klein. He was a non-boater. Nice fish there for Lex. Go ahead.
Okay. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Rusty Crook had one. He was a non-boater on day one. A nice one. He ended up winning big bass with that fish on day one.
Okay.
For the non-boater side. That's Catherine Martinez. She also just was one fish. All the non-boaters that caught one on Saturday only had one fish. It was just tough. It was a tough fight.
Okay.
And Catherine had one on day one. Go ahead. In most of these pictures,
He's having mouse clicking issues today.
I guess so. Kelly Whitehead, he was a non-boater, also just one fish. Kelly was our co-angler of the year, or non-boater of the year, but just one keeper on Saturday. Go ahead. Most of these pictures, that one didn't have it. That's Lee Johnson. He was sitting in third after day one. He had two fish. Most of these pictures, we tried to get the striker symbol behind us. I want to thank, I'm sure nobody from Striker will hear this, but I want to thank Striker. We're a Striker Brands club here in New Mexico. We're the only one, and they do some really nice things for us. They award our co-angler and angler of the year some nice rain suits, which I talked about last week.
I wonder if he could tag them.
I do tag them and everything.
You tag Striker? Well,
yes.
But I mean this broadcast.
I maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I can. I'll go when I share it today. I'll tag it.
There you go.
All right, so that's Lee Johnson. He was sitting in for third that day. Go ahead. On Saturday. David Watkins, another one of our boaters, and he had one fish. And you can see Striker there, both two Striker symbols on my boat. Go ahead.
Next.
Jeremy Fuentes had 3 on day one. He was leading. Those 3 weighed over 3 pounds apiece. Really nice fish. And he was leading after day one. Go ahead.
That's a nice picture. Nice catch.
That's Andrew Houghtaling, and my son, and he had one as a non-boater on day one.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Nice.
2.2 pounder. Mark Willever, again, he was sitting in second after day one. I mean third. No, second after day one.
Okay.
Go ahead. Nice fish he had.
Yep.
Brad Young, who was a longtime member, and he hadn't fished with us for a while, and he rejoined this year. Great to have Brad back, and I want to thank Brad publicly as well. He donated a ton of tackle and stuff, poles and reels and tackle that he had. Really nice stuff. It was older stuff he had in storage, but he cleaned it all up and donated it to the club, and everybody had a great time Saturday night getting to pick those out we drew tickets, and they got to go up and pick out stuff.
Good.
Go ahead. He was a boater.
Okay.
Bobby Castaneda, he one of our Carlsbad anglers, and he had a couple of nice fish on Saturday. Go ahead.
Okay.
Mike Hill, another one of our Carlsbad guys, and he's a boater, and he ended up only with one on Saturday, but a nice one. Okay. Probably a 2-pounder, a little over 2.
Okay. Next.
And did I put Bobby in there twice, or did you go backwards? Yeah, he's going backwards.
Yeah,
okay, so we've seen those. Now, if you want to throw up Saturday, I guess I failed to get in the non-boaters day one results. I'll go back and fix that.
Hey, my lights work on the trailer.
Your lights work. I see them there.
Yeah, that's from Saturday night.
Nice.
At
the red gold.
Red dirt, black gold.
Red dirt, black gold. I said that wrong.
That's okay. And we'd had those fixed. I look at silly things like that.
No, well, you noticed it. That's good. It's your trailer. All right, so did I miss? Is this the second day? Because that shows day one.
It finally got the...
Oh, this is the non-boater?
Oh, I just cut off the non-boat. No, that's the boaters.
Okay.
That's the boaters on day one.
All right, so now...
So we've seen that.
That says 1 and 2. So we're still on the...
Well, that's 10-1. But, okay, there's the non-boaters
Yay,
for
we
day
found
one.
it. Yay.
And so you can just see that everybody that caught one, I did not catch fish. That was on the... Jeff was my non-boater. He didn't catch fish. Jeff Heath and Bobby Castaneda Jr. Actually didn't get to fish with us. Football took over. He plays for Carlsbad.
Ah.
And he had stuff he had to do Saturday, and then had to do stuff with the football team on Sunday, too. All right, Jeff, if you can go to the next post for us.
So this will be the day 2 results.
Day 2 results, and I don't want to run out of time. I hope to get all these in.
We've got 5.5 minutes
to get them in.
That's right. So we'll get that done. So it takes him just a second because you got to close it out. He's going to pull it up, bring it up, and
Yeah.
get it all done.
I also want to thank David Watkins. He builds poles as a hobby, I think, and he built a pole for our angler and co-angler of the year. Actually, those guys wanted them. I had them. I was going to give them to them at the banquet, but they wanted them in advance to use them, so I gave them to them. But they brought them to the banquet, showed everybody, so thank you to David for that. All right, here's the championship results. So we're not going to, I guess I didn't put the day 2 results, but this is the boater side. Jeremy Fuentes ended up catching a 14.2-pound bag yesterday. He ended up winning it, 24.5 pounds overall. Lee Johnson, second place, 19.5 pounds. Mark Williver, third place, 12.5 pounds. And you can see going down through the rest there, Mark won big bass on day 1 with a 4.7-pounder, and Lee Johnson won big bass yesterday with 4.4 pounds. And so those top 3 really found them pretty good. I mean, Mark only ended up catching 1 yesterday. He was sitting in second after Saturday. Lee surpassed him yesterday by 7 pounds. As you can see, Mark didn't get on him yesterday as good as he did Saturday. But everybody caught at least 1 fish on the boater side, so that was good, including me. I caught 1 fish yesterday, 1 keeper, 2.3 pounds. But that's the boater side. Go ahead.
All right.
Hopefully I have the non-boaters in there, and I do.
Yeah, there they
But
are.
that's day 2, so that's overall.
That's
so you can
championship.
see the pretty big drop-off in weight. It's easier to catch them on the front of the boat. You're in front of the guy in the back. But anyway, Rusty Crook ended up winning first place with 5.6 pounds. Jeff Heath, another one of our Carlsbad guys, ends up in second. And Lex Klein comes in third out of the non-boaters. Rusty caught the big bass on day 1 with a 2.7-pounder, and Jeff Heath on day 2 with a 3.7-pounder, and that was our non-boaters final results.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Got some pictures, I bet.
Pictures from day 2, and I ended up putting Lex on there, I realized later, but that's Jerry Houghtaling, my dad. He ended up catching the 1 fish, and that was yesterday. He's trying to make it look bigger. He's stretching it out there as far as he can. He's got long arms.
Yeah, well, it looks pretty good. He's got
I think it was 1.7-pounder. Just legal.
It's all a matter of perspective, right?
Yeah, that's right. All right, next picture. And I really thought I had him. I don't know how he was on there for. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Rusty Crook with his fish yesterday, and again only 1, but he ended up winning with two fish. So good tournament for Rusty as he took first place. Next picture.
Okay.
There's Lee, and so Lee ends up coming in, overtaking second place. He had a nice 4-fish bag, and you can see those are some nice ones right there for Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
Second place. Boater.
He looks happy about that.
Brad Young, yeah, and he didn't know yet if he was where he was at, but he was happy with that bag of fish. I don't blame him. It was really nice catch there for Lee. Brad Young with his keeper yesterday, and he told me, and I agreed with him, except for I'm not even. He said I got to come 5 days to catch a limit. So and I said, well, I got to come 10 because I only caught 1 in 2 days. So
that's a good one.
That's Brad.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Nice fish he had there yesterday.
It's a good line.
Chris True, one of our Carlsbad guys, with a couple of fish yesterday. He was one of our boaters.
Okay.
And his partner was Jeff Heath, who ended up winning. That's Mark Williver, and I think he was squinting for the sun, or maybe he was winking at the camera. I don't know. But he ended up only getting 1 yesterday, and so he got bumped down by Lee, but he still gets a check and also got big bass on day 1. So Mark Williver in third place.
Okay.
And I don't hold it against him. He's a Cowboys fan.
Hey, they won yesterday.
And they won yesterday, I heard. There's Lex again. And that's the same picture. So anyway, he ended up winning third on the non-boater side.
Okay. Are there any more
There's
pictures?
more pictures.
All right.
Jeff, my brother Jeff Houghtaling, he ended up, he was the non-boater with me, and both of us did not catch a fish on Saturday, and then we only caught 1 on Sunday, so we just didn't have a very good tournament. Had a good time. By the way, the weather was beautiful, beautiful weekend. People know that if they were around Artesia.
Yeah.
Next picture. And there's our winner. That's Jeremy Fuentes, and he caught a full limit. The only limit caught this weekend. He had 5 fish yesterday, and they were all about the same size. Really nice. All average right under 3 pounds apiece, and he ends up winning first place on our boater side with that limit. Put him at 24.5 pounds for 2 days. Next picture. And that's Jeff Heath. On the non-boater side, he was Chris True's non-boater, and he ends up with the big bass yesterday, and he won second overall on the non-boater side. Good fish there for Jeff. It was 3.7 pounder. And that's me and my lonely fish.
You caught one.
Out of 2 days. I did catch one, and it was a 2.3 pounder, so a little over 2 pounds.
Yeah. Nice looking fish.
Bobby Castaneda again. He had a couple. He was one of our boaters, and nice fish there. Carlsbad fisherman.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see.
And I don't know. I think there may be one more. That may be it. I guess that's it.
Yep. So all in all, a good tournament and
good tournament, great year. Really, we've got a lot of great people in our club. All of them. Everybody in our club is really good folks. And we had some of our folks that were in the top 10 that didn't get to fish, but you know the calendars, the way people's schedules are, just how it happens. But overall, a fantastic year for Pecos Valley Bassmasters. Looking forward already to next year. We do get a couple of months break, but we'll get started back up in January. And I told the fishermen, the anglers at the tournament this weekend, and I'll say it here for those that weren't there, in case they see or hear this, please text me your top 3 lakes you want to fish next year. My brother Jeff had that idea to let everybody go ahead and get a jump start, and we'll take, I'll add all those up and then separate them out and see where we come in, and we'll try to fish all the lakes that the top 10 or so lakes.
Very good. Joby Houghtaling, thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks to Rob at Kith and Kith.